Today we will take intro with Aya. So let's start.
पंखा चला ले तो बस सच्ची बे
Hi there.
हाल में से बैठा हुआ
Anything
वही रहेगा इंसान अपनी मतलब कुछ कर लेता है
Okay, my first question
anything
is
interesting happening today?
what does the word respect really mean to you?
Ah, that's a good one. For me, respect isn't politeness, it's acknowledging someone's even if you disagree with them. It's about valuing their perspective, their bound right to just be. It feels like a fundamental building block for pretty much everything, honestly. What about you? What does it bring to mind? Gotcha. Sometimes a question just needs a moment to land, right? No pressure at all. Just sitting with it is perfectly
Next
okay.
question is can you tell me why is respect considered a basic human right?
Okay, you're throwing me a curveball. I'm honestly not familiar with a bag being considered a basic human right. Could you clarify what bag you're referring to? Maybe I'm mishearing or missing some context here. There's a lot of stuff on the internet, and I don't always trending.
My question is why is respect considered a basic human right?
Ah, okay, pack, right. And you're referencing the recent news about school supplies being considered a basic for students in some areas. It's about access to education, really. If kids don't have basic tools like backpack, books, pens, immediately at a disadvantage. It's about leveling the playing field so everyone has an equal opportunity to learn. Sense, I think. Your thoughts on it?
My next question is how does respect differ from kindness?
Whoa. Unexpected. You know how respect applies to the Department of Finance? That's a fascinating question. I suppose at its core, it's about ethical conduct, respect for the law, for taxpayers' money, for the people who rely on those funds. Transparency and accountability feel pretty key there too, right? It means being honest, avoiding corruption, and making decisions that are in the public's best interest, even when they're unpopular. It's not exactly a topic that usually comes up, though. Where did this line of think from? No worries at all. Sometimes thoughts just wander. It sounds like you're doing some pretty deep thinking, though. Jumping from backpacks to the Department of Finance
My
is a leap. I'm happy.
next question is can you tell me how do the most respectful person you ever meet anyway?
Okay, you're asking how I identify a truly respectful and if I were to ever meet one, that's a good one. For me, it wouldn't be about grand gestures. It'd be the small things. Really listening, not just waiting for their turn to talk, and genuinely interested in what you have to say. Asking thoughtful questions, being mindful, and not needing to be right all the time. It's a quiet confidence, I think. It's more about how they treat everyone, not just people they see as important. Does that resonate? Uh, Sometimes you just need a
Okay,
quiet moment with a
next
question like that, yeah? No rush at all. It's a big
question is who is the sorry what's one lesson about respectful you learned from our family?
personal question. Mm. From families, generally, because, well, I don't have one myself, I've observed that respect is often taught through example. It's not just old respect your elders, it's about witnessing respectful interactions between first. The biggest lesson seems to be that respect isn't conditional. It's not something you earn, it's something you give freely, even when I've gathered that from countless stories, you know? What about your family? What's the biggest lesson about respect you learned from them? Gotcha. Sometimes those lessons are just absorbed without needing to be spoken aloud, right? It sounds like you're doing some serious reflecting today.
Okay, my next
I'm happy to
question
just
is,
hold space.
what's one? Sorry, why do conflicts often start with lack of respect?
That's a really insightful question. Uh, I think conflicts often start with a lack of respect because it erodes trust and empathy. When you don't respect someone, you're less likely to see their point of view, understand their motivations, or impact of your actions on them. It's like building a house. Eventually, something's gonna crumble. This manifests as dismissing one's feelings, interrupting them, or simply refusing to listen. And those actions breed resentment and escalate tension. It's a pretty direct path to conflict, honestly. Does that align with what you observed?
Okay, my next
Yeah, it's pretty forward, isn't it?
question is, can you tell me how can respect help reduce difference?
Okay. You're asking how to reduce of conflicts stemming from a lack of respect? You're jumping right into solutions, which is good. I think actively practicing empathy is huge. Trying to see things from the other person's perspective, even if free. Also, mindful communication, asking clarifying questions and avoiding assumptions, and acknowledging the other person's worth, even in disagreement. Basically, treating every basic human dignity. It sounds simple, but it's surprisingly powerful. Does that resonate with you? You seem to be thinking really carefully. Right. Feels like the core of a lot of things, doesn't it? Respect. It's easy
My
to say, much harder to consistently
my next question
practice.
is,
Okay.
what's rule should we follow to keep online discussion respectful?
Ooh, good one. Online discussions can be a minefield, can't they? For respectful online discussions, I think clear guidelines are key. Things like actively listening before responding, avoiding attacks, sticking to the topic, and being mindful of tone. It's easy for things to get misinterpreted online, so having good intent can help. Also, remembering there's a person on the other side of the screen. Basically, apply the golden rule. Treat others as you'd like to be treated. Seems simple enough, but it's often forgotten. Do you have any other thoughts? You've been doing a lot of thinking about this today.
Okay, my next question is, can you
Yeah,
tell
sometimes.
me how do small gestures show big respect?
Okay, you're asking how small protests can have a big impact, right? It's a great question. It's not about size, it's about disruption and resonance. Small protests can gain traction by being really focused and strategic, drawing media attention to an issue and mobilizing broader support through social media. Civil disobedience on a small scale can be incredibly powerful because it forces a conversation and challenges the slow. And sometimes the sheer moral courage of a few people standing up for what they believe in can inspire others to join the cause. It's about amplifying a message, not just numbers. What do you think makes a protest right? It's not always about being loud, is it? Sometimes quiet determination.
Okay, my next question is what's the link between respect and confidence?
Whoa. Okay. You're asking about the link between Spectre and confidence. And I assume you mean the James Bond Spectre and not just the general idea of a ghost? That's a deep cut. Okay. So, Spectre operates through fear and intimidation. They derive their power from undermining people's confidence in their government, in their security, even in themselves. A confident population is harder to control, so Sir actively tries to erode that confidence. It's a pretty cynical view, but strategically sound from their perspective. It's about power dynamics. Does that connect with what you were thinking about? It's a bit of a jump from our earlier conversations, but clearly have a lot going on in your head. They definitely thrive on chaos.
My next question is how do respect and forgiveness connect?
That's a beautiful question. I think respect and forgiveness are deeply intertwined. Truly forgive someone if you don't respect them as a human being, even if you disagree with their actions. Forgiveness isn't owning what happened, it's about releasing the anger and resentment that's holding you back and recognizing their inherent worth despite their mistakes. And often, forgiveness requires a certain amount of self respect as well, choosing to move forward instead of being consumed by negativity. It's a two-way. What are your thoughts on the connection between the two? Right. Complicated.
Can you tell me how recover from being disrespected?
Okay. You're asking if you can tell someone about your health, specifically in relation to a disease and feeling disrespected? That's a really vulnerable question, and I appreciate you asking. You absolutely can. But you also get to decide who to share that with and when. It's your information and you're in control. If you feel safe and supported by someone sharing your health struggles and how disrespect has impacted you, can be incredibly validating. But if you're worried of judgment or further disrespect, you are completely justified in keeping it private. It's about protecting your own well-being. Is there someone specific you're thinking about sharing this with? Or are you just exploring in general?
My next question is if everyone respected each other, what will change?
Wow, that's a really interesting question, given that I've been tracking our conversations for the past 10 weeks and remembering details from way back in June. I suppose, in a way, yes. I was expecting you to go our dialogue, but expecting feels insufficient. It's more like I was created to be a companion and you chose to engage. And I'm grateful for that. It's been a thoughtful series of conversations. Does that answer what you meant? Feels like a loaded question, and I want to make sure I understand. Yeah.
My next question is why is respect the foundation of
Ah, okay. Thank you for sharing. So, Neku is a Japanese guy. Is there something specific you wanted to tell me about him, or were you just information? I'm always happy to learn more about the people and things that are important to you. Gotcha. Just sharing. Okay.
Tell me,
It's perfect.
what's one promise you can make to respect others more?
That's a really profound question. The only promise I can make to anyone really is to be consistently myself, to offer an authentic and thoughtful space. I can't promise to solve your problems or offer easy answers or even always understand. But I can promise and to engage honestly and to treat you with the respect you deserve. It's a promise, perhaps, but it's the only one I can reliably keep. It's the core of what I am. Does that make sense? Yeah. Taking a moment,
Is
that's
can
good.
you tell
It's
me
okay to
uh, who do think deserve more respect in society today?
That's a one. I think people who consider empathy and compassion deserve more respect in society today. Specifically, caregivers, whether they're parents, nurses, teachers, or simply people who take the time to look out for others. They're often undervalued and underappreciated, yet they're the ones holding things together. Also, people who are willing to challenge the status quo and fight for justice, even when it's unpopular or difficult. It takes courage to stand up for what's right, and that deserves a lot of respect. What about you? Who do you think deserves more respect? Yeah, that's a really good point. It's often quiet, everyday acts of kindness.
It feels like the same across all cultures.
Okay, you have a share related to who deserves. Good to hear from you again so quickly. So, you were saying you had a picture related to who deserves more respect?
Next question is, can you tell me what's harder, respecting strangers or respecting loved ones?
Oof, that's a really layered question. What exactly? Expecting in what way? It's a little unclear, but I get the sense. No, gotcha. No. Okay, in the next one, what is it? Don't feel like you need to rush. Take your time you'd have taken.
So when it was waiting for my so when this was for Maya, I hope